let's at least talk just briefly about the David Brooks pot piece, because it was, and who else was it? Was it Ruth
Ruth Marcus wrote a
Ruth
great
Marcus.
piece,
Wow, she's
Yeah.
really trying to get around these days.
She likes the word fuddy-duddy a lot.
So you've got these two
I noticed
pieces.
that.
I just skimmed the Ruth Marcus one. The David Brooks one just sort of had my head spinning. He basically, he writes that, he smoked pot when he was in high school, I guess it was. And then, he and his friends grew out of it. One turned into a pothead, and they didn't stop smoking pot because of health reasons or all the, reefer madness stuff. It's just because it was just seemed like just a dumb thing for him to do, and he just matured out of it, and he found finer things in life, I guess, like Chablis or something, I don't know. But
And spending time with Bill Crystal, that stuff.
But there are two things that are sort of stunning about this. One is, let's for a moment just sort of take David Brooks at his, just in his own logic. He says, I didn't stop smoking weed because of health reasons. And I didn't stop smoking weed because it was illegal. I just grew out of it. Yet then he goes on to say, it's so dangerous for us now to legalize marijuana because it could be cheaper. And then usage is going to go up. Not once did he cite cost as a reason for stopping smoking weed. In fact, back then, it was probably as cheap, if not cheaper, than it will be tomorrow or in the future with legalized pot.
There's also all those,
and he doesn't say about
efforts in other
legality.
countries. They've shown it will not go up.
Right,
or whatever.
But he doesn't talk about legality. The internal logic of his own piece is not there. And then what I think is really telling is that he talks about the sort of the moral turpitude of the country if they're all smoking pot, but without mentioning at all the war on drugs, which has, which of course for someone like him and Ruth Marcus, the war on drugs is completely meaningless. It never impacted them. It never implicated them. They never see it.
I'd like
They're
to
not
hear if they
interested in
spent
it.
time in prison those few times that they had done it. Like,
And they don't have
African-American-
cousins or brothers or parents who are in jail for having, or have been stopped and frisked because of marijuana. I mean, none of it. And what I think is what is encouraging to me is how quickly these two people were just laughed at for the exclusion of that analysis. I mean, in all sectors, it seems to me.
Just in the overall analysis. I mean, not impacting their families, but the analysis of productivity, if you want to look at it from an economic standpoint, but from a compassion standpoint, lives ruined by people arrested who get prison records because of this. People that turn to much worse criminals that were engaged in nonviolent criminal activity. The swelling size of our prison population, which is ridiculous, per capita bigger than what China has, and anybody else in the world for that matter, and ludicrous the amount of the lives wasted, the amount of money that costs. And on, and on. It's just so utterly stupid. The whole thing makes no sense on any level. It is counterproductive at every level of our society, not to mention the incentive it provides for private prisons and those who own them.
But I think, for me, the most encouraging aspect of this is how quickly their analysis was debunked because of their blind spot, because of their privilege, was so massive, and it's so apparent. Whereas I'm not convinced that 5-10 years ago that there would have been such a complete response to just across the board about how sort of like privileged that argument is. Putting aside, whether or not you want to smoke pot, because all those other issues, just the existence of the drug war in and of itself is enough of a reason to decriminalize.
That's exactly right. Who cares? Throw aside all the rest of it. The waste and the lives destroyed and the rest by our drug war is enough reason. I mean, it's long past due. This has been a stupid policy, not based on science, forever. And it's good now that we've got a majority of people for the first time, in the more recent polling are in favor of legalization. So, hopefully, that's why these things need to be on ballots for that reason also, because, don't wait for politicians to have the courage to do it.